Ladies and gentlemen, it is the one, it's the big one. It is the final round of the Finnish Championship 2020 here at beautiful Sibbe Disc Golf course. Perfect commentary duo is back again, Jørn Kvig and Schaub.
Yeah, welcome back. This is what every Finnish kid dreams about. And here on the card we have Niklas Anttila out in the lead, the Disc Mania sponsored pro. After him we have Nieminen, the Dynamic Disc sponsored forehand magician. Coming up after that, someone we're all pretty familiar with at this point, the Prodigy Disc sponsored Väinö Mäkelä. And rounding out the card for all us masters out there, we have Yane Hirsamaki, the Dynamic Discs sponsored, very versatile player. Yeah. Always a fan favorite.
Oh, for sure. He and his calf are ready for a battle here at the final round. As you can see, Janne at -16, Väinö -19, Jesse and Niklas will have the hardest fight here for the championship title, -22 and -25 here at a beautiful day. And yeah, we're starting off pretty hot already with hole one. Give us a little run through of the hole, Dean.
Yeah, hole one is treacherous to say the least. The play that you'll see most often is someone will hang a mid-range out to the right side, let it come back and settle in under the basket. But there's OB everywhere. OB long is really dangerous even on putts and approaches. You see the guardian tree there to ruin people's lives. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, but we'll see how these guys attack it. Here we see the TD Laura announcing the names.
And we're going to start off with Disc Mania sponsored player Niklas Anttila. He have played really strong throughout this tournament, showing almost no emotions, just pure concentration and skills put into action throughout the 3 first rounds. Now ready for the first throw of the last round. Let's see how he does it. He has gone straight ahead with a mid-range. Now upping a little bit further to the right, hyzering in perfectly.
Yeah,
he could not go up there and put it in a better spot himself.
Brilliant disc golf. It's just, you see the flags moving a little bit. Not too much breeze out there, but yeah, opting to go with a little more hyzer than we've seen in previous rounds.
And here we have Jesse. Like you said, forehand king is going with what I believe is a Felon Dynamic Disc sponsored player.
Yeah, that's the Lucidex Glimmer. Those things are so flat, they just about disappear if you look at them sideways.
And he's been doing well on this hole so far. Let's see if they can keep the nerves in check. This looks a little bit wide, but carries the distance. Sneaks on the on either side of that tree, and we'll have a death putt basically from there.
Yeah, even though it's not very far, that's an absolute nightmare. Here we see probably one of the best, if not the best, mid-range throwers in all of Europe, if not the world. This is not hyperbole. Yeah, Väinö Mäkelä. We see him just the master of M3s. M4s, throwing putters, all that stuff. We're in for a treat today, I hope.
Yeah. Let's see how he goes. He is a expert hyzer flipper. And that's what we're going to see here as well. This is just straight on a rope. Coming up on 7 meters and have a little bit of a putting competition with Jesse to start off with.
Here's Yane Hirsamaki. I remember at Toonie a few years ago, he had his personal music going, and he wanted to throw right at a certain point about a minute into the song, and he was like, yeah, go ahead, warn me for time. I don't care. So everyone got a good kick out of that. You see him smiling.
Yeah, I remember seeing him teeing off at Nevas, and he got the TD to play his music 2.5 minutes before he was going to throw, because he wanted to throw, like you said, on the exact right spot. And we see him leaving one here in circle 2. That is going to be a very hard first putt for Janne.
I wouldn't be mad at him if he laid this one up, but it looks like he's running it.
Not a bad run. But I mean, with OB all the way back there, it will come in your head almost no matter who you are.
Yeah, and for this to be hole 1, it's just the devil's hole right from the beginning.
Yeah, Sibbe Disc Golf course has gotten a huge facelift. It was already a great course, but due to COVID-19, of course, there was no tuning. So when you don't have the biggest tournament in Europe to work on, what do? Well, you make one of the best courses in Finland even better, and you will see that throughout the course and the tournament here. That you will see a couple of new holes, and you will see a super manicured course ready for a lot of hopefully birdies. And yes, not what he wanted, of course, but we saw a little bit of struggles with his putter in round 3 as well.
Yeah, round 3, especially early, struggling with the putt. I guess if you're going to miss, you do want to hit the cage and drop. We saw Väinö right before that just sneak over the top of the cage. Very confident putt. We've seen over the last few weeks, as Väinö, as his putter goes, so goes his scores.
Yeah, that's for sure. Moving on, hole 2, par 3, 89 meters. There's OB on the right, there's OB on the left, there's a Mano. You will see the guys either go with a fairly wide forehand hyzer or a more straight approach. Of course, if you go the most straight approach, you'll have those long hanging branches to deal with.
Yeah, OB path to the right, OB near that shed on the left. A lot of weird things can happen.
This is leaking right, but actually a nice little correction of the tree there. Puts him on circle's edge.
Yeah, the backhand is so touchy on this hole. I really think the forehand, hang it out to dry, is the way to go, as we see Väinö with his really newfound forehand.
Yeah, we've seen him throughout the tournament here, laying down some very nice forehands. This one too, just again leaking out a little bit to the right, but having an unobstructed putt there from 6 meters. Yes, sir. That is really, really solid. A little bit surprised to see that he is going more straight at it with the wind coming in, you know, with his kind of forehand skills, but solving that beautifully.
Yeah, he's really shown that downhill low harp shot.
There's Janne, forever young dynamic disc player.
Yeah, it looks like an old fusion fell in there.
Circle 2 around 11, 12 meters. Got to work for his birdie here.
Love the Sunday reds from Yane, a little Tiger Woods style.
Yeah, just a little high, but you can see his aggression in the putt there, which is a good sign for the next 16 holes. Trying to gain some strokes on the guys here. And that is fantastic.
Wow.
Almost laying down and making that 2 for 2. That's a great start for the final for Niklas.
Looks like Väinö came to make a charge today with his lock it and pop it putting style there.
Yep. And he's -2 through 2 as well. Yes, sir. Making it easy. CTP here in hole 2, and we see the crowd starting to move over to hole 3 already. They want to get as most of the action as possible, I guess. Moving on, hole 3, par 4, 253 meters is OB right. You just gotta want to throw something down to this landing area to be able to attack the second shot, which is, in my opinion, the hardest one, because you can see the corridor here is fairly tight and you need to get through this little corridor to get up, and even for a look at the par, I would say, which is like a birdie on this hole.
Yeah, it's definitely a placement drive for that second shot, but not a walk in the park for sure, as placement drives go. You do want to avoid those trees on the left side of the fairway, but still be close to them, if that makes sense.
Yep. And Niklas. A lot shorter.
Doesn't love it. Doesn't love it. A little too straight there. A little too short. A rare mistake.
Seem to have
the last few rounds.
Yeah, seem to have some challenges on the tee pad. This is looking better from Väinö. Get the height, get the width. Great distance. Perfect angle to attack the green. Excellent execution by Väinö. Yes, this is looking a little tight. Yeah, not ideal position considering the trees there, which is going to make his second shot a little bit tighter than he wants, but he might be able to work something. And Janne is even more in jail. And that is going to be a tough second shot.
Yeah, I was about to say about yesterday's, if he'd just gotten a little further, that would have been a lot worse. I think he's in a good spot, and then Yane went exactly where I was thinking about.
Yeah. There's Niklas. Heiser flipping that one. Needs to get a little bit lucky. That's as good as you can hope from that distance. Getting well in there, should have an easy up and down for par.
We saw a similar shot in round 3. It's amazing how quickly his disc flips up.
Yep. It's a lot of power. And this is leaking a little bit right, but gets some great distance. Just fading out a little bit early.
Yeah, just make the meters on that second shot.
And this needs to get sneaky. Oh, never mind. He is puring that one. Beautiful to circle to. Fantastic execution.
Yeah, a lot of wood to deal with there.
Oh. And Väinö grip locking that into the trees. Get a very lucky kick out into the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, most people are thrilled with that position for their third.
Yeah, we have seen plenty of players heading the exact same way as Väinö was going and ending up with having both 2 and 3 and 4 throws from inside the woods there. So really lucky there from Väinö. Oh, Niklas almost rings that in from 30 meters.
Yeah, just trying to shut the door right away here on hole 3.
Oh. Yeah, yes, I can't believe there is trees here. You did not see that one. And from the worst drive to the best position to get his birdie is Janne. A fantastic upshot. Ooh.
Oh, almost a little birdie magic on hole 3.
There we go. That's a par birdie here on hole 3.
Yeah, super important putt for Jesse there. Väinö right on his heels. He obviously wants to make a run at Niklas.
From a knee, high right, but sticks from Väinö.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, but every time Niklas runs something from distance, this is about the longest comebacker that you're going to see.
That is true.
It's amazing golf over time if you do the math. I think Niklas is in for a long career of not many bogeys.
That's true. Almost 16 years old. Had a great season, or short great season at the Finnish Pro Tour, and keeps the pedal to the metal here. As we move into hole 4, par 3, 122 meters. OB left on the stakes, OB right on the road. You want to hit somewhere around here as flat as possible to avoid any flaring skips, and yeah, just keep it straight and pure. Might see Jesse going a big forehand out on the left hand side. There's plenty of rooms, but of course the rocks can be treacherous and make your disc roll straight into OB. And this is looking perfect from Niklas. Getting the skip on the rocks, getting those extra 10-15 meters for a circle's edge putt. And no surprise, a heisy flip from Väinö, just ending up a little bit more left than he wanted to. Flirting with that OB line, but sticks it those 20 centimeters inbounds. Just enough.
He was probably not having a fun time on the tee pad watching that one.
Yep. Oh, that is fantastic. And what a distance. That is 122 meters forehand by Jesse.
But Jørn Idar, he barely threw it.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Oh, that was beautiful. And this is looking a little bit high, but sneaks through the branches there. And sticks it. With another look for birdie. With an ever-growing gallery watching straight in the back there. Such a floaty putter. And here's Niklas from circle's edge. Ooh, a little high. Not happy with that one. From circle's edge, Väinö gains a stroke on Niklas.
We saw from that great side angle how uphill that putt is. This is a lot of terrain out here at Sibbe.
Yep, that is for sure.
Some topography.
Yeah, Jesse didn't mind that. He has a tap in for his birdie. Keep pace with Väinö, keeping him 2 strokes behind and gaining 1 on Niklas.
What a cool drive from Jesse.
Yeah.
It's just like it was like, go to the tree, I'll just loop around and Tony Hawk Pro Skater off these rocks and
land under the basket. City. Gotta love it. He is most likely going to use the forehand here at hole 5. It's a par 3, 85 meters. There's an OB pond in the middle. There's OB long. So you either want to go like a pop-up forehand on the left-hand side. You can also do a backhand there as well. With pretty much the same line, but you want to go left of the birches that you'll see in the middle of the picture there. We have seen it actually skip long a couple of times here during the Finnish Championship, so the green is pretty hard just around the basket. So let's see how Väinö solves this one. Overstable, sneaking it through, little controlling branch to circle's edge.
Yeah, that's the A2 there. We're gonna have to stop calling Väinö a backhand player at this point. I think that narrative is done.
Yep.
See Oskari Wikström there in the blue t-shirt taking in the action. I'm sure he wishes he was on this final card.
A little bit of a lower one from Jesse, and this is going to... Never mind, it hit a tree. And that, I think actually that might be a good thing, because we mentioned the skip here and it's very hard around the green, so could have had a pretty nasty skip.
Yeah, the low screamers are begging for OB.
And Niklas knows this, throws it higher, having it spiked down. Beautiful 5-meter putt. Is waiting him.
Niklas plays so smart. I feel like I would ask him for like life advice or something, even though he's so much younger.
Oh, is that it? Is that OB?
Don't think so.
Oh, that's...
Oh, wow.
I don't even know. Yeah.
It's when you got to get out the old string and connect the stakes.
Yeah, it looks like they don't know themselves. Let's see. Let's group the sides.
Oh my.
And that came in such an awkward angle as well, hitting that branch and just pounded down. And they're calling it out of bounds.
Oh no.
That could not have been much.
No. I feel like on a lot of amateur cards we're going benefit to the player all day, but these guys are by the book.
No doubt about it. Which means that Janne has to avoid jumping into the pond on this very long putt.
Doesn't look like a pond you'd want to be in.
No, not at all. Could be good for your skin. Not that Janne's skin needs that. Just saying. Väinö. To keep the pressure going. Beautiful execution.
His PA3s are working today. He's saw his latest signature disc the other day. I think he's going by the Archer now. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Making that one dead center as well. Which means that Janne is the only one that is not going away from one of the easier holes here on the front 9 with a birdie. And I like what we're seeing from Väinö. He is focused. He is ready. He has in some of the earlier rounds been a little bit shaky on the putt, but now he's just really focused. It's dead center. It's fairly low on this basket as well, so it sticks all the time. And I think we're in for a real treat in the battle here. Moving on to one of the new holes. This is hole 6, par 5, 306 meters, because the course manager thought that what this course needs is 306 meters of tightly wooded holes. There is of course no OBs anywhere, but you want to stay in the middle of the fairway. On either side of those trees will be a good for the second shot. You need to get around the corner here. I mean, there is so much going on. How do you attack this hole, Dean?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a placement shot off the tee. You see guys throwing mids, putters, whatever, right into that mulch right at the beginning of the path. Basically, I know it sounds like a cliche, but work the path all the way down. Do not get off it. And yeah, and then you got the green to deal with after that. But
yeah, this is looking...
Yeah, this right there in the mulch, making me look super smart. But yeah, the tee shot is no joke either. You know, it's a straight up tunnel shot, and you're already probably thinking about the rest of the hole. So yeah, mental toughness here on this long par 5.
Yes, in the rounds past have gotten the furthest down the fairway on the first shot, but just yanking that one out a little bit early, right? Of course, leaving him with a fairly difficult second shot. A nice little understable drive from Niklas. Ending up a little bit shorter than he wanted to, but should have a fairly open fairway from there. This is looking high and right from Janne. He's getting sneaky through the first one, but ending up in absolute jail, and we'll see when he gets down there, but most likely he will just have to pitch out from there. It's pretty dark. Yeah, Jesse doing the only thing he can pretty much do from there. And we've seen some high numbers on this hole, Dean. Oh.
Yeah, we sure have. There's a lot of places to go on this hole. Some places you'll have to climb, places you'll have to climb down, up, around. A lot of shots that look just like this.
Yeah, and Niklas was much more in jail than I thought he was, solving that actually very nicely from that awkward position. And you have Janne doing the only thing he really can do.
Yeah, we've seen forwards hat, backwards hat, and no hat now from Yane. Hasn't brought him much luck so far, but see what works.
And this needs to keep, and it does. That is a really, really good second drive. Yes, it calls for it to get back. It doesn't. Oh, and that is not a good kick either. Kicking pretty much straight into the dark woods.
Oh, man, this is almost disorienting. Seeing all these guys off the fairway, I'm really used to calling holes like this pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Well, I think this hole is pretty straightforward. You know what you got to do, but to do it just takes so much precision. Not only on one shot or two shots, but on all 4 or 5 shots that you need to get up there. Because if you get out of the fairway, just like you see Niklas here, you're almost doomed to have to pitch out. It is a great combination of distance and tight fairway. So a great addition to the Sibbe Disc Golf course.
Yeah, putting this hole here, it really feels like that old video game like Sim City or something. Like, you know, some evil mastermind just bulldozing land and putting a, you know, yeah, easy 1,000-foot hole.
And Janne trying to get up and over. A little bit unsure on the results. No doubt he was trying to bite off a little bit more than just the fairway.
Yeah, that's the pressure on such long holes, is you're under so much need to make so many meters on every shot, and that's the trouble that you can get into.
Yeah, there is, even if you play this hole perfect, there is at the very least 2 max power drives on this hole, and that's maybe even 3 to be able to have a birdie. So max power also means a little bit of loss of control and precision, which can lead to well, more woods, as we have seen here. Great little harp shot from Jesse.
We talk a lot about risk-reward in disc golf, but here you have to take the risk, and you know the reward isn't necessarily there because it's just so far.
That's a good point. It's a long putt, but good execution by Väinö, almost sticking that one. And that is looking high and could be rolling down there. There's a little slope. But given that it's not him putting now, I guess Janne got away with one. As Jesse have seen a lot of wood on this hole. A lot of trees. Get away with the bogey. You just want to get out of here, which makes sense. Another bogey from Janne, which is not off to the start he was imagining. I can think.
I imagine we'll see him start playing a little bit free and loose. Maybe we'll see some highlight reel stuff from Janne down the stretch.
Yeah. Niklas for a bogey as well, which means that Väinö was the only one with a par on that hole. Going on to hole 7, par 3, 78 meters. Basically, whatever throw you want to get up here. You can go a slight hyzer, you can go straight at it, slight Annie, you can go forehand, all of those angles. Just get around those first trees, which is really grabby. It's one of those holes where at least I'm standing on and find myself throwing probably 4 or 5 or 6 different kind of shots during a practice, because there is no clear alternative. Whatever give you the most amount of confidence is what you're going with.
Yeah, absolute headache of a hole, and a lot steeper uphill than it looks on camera.
And yes, is going slight turnover harp. We have Niklas going high, hitting some branches, ending up in the edge of circle 2, it looks like.
I like that shot from Niklas, even though it didn't work out, because you're throwing it something hard and you can kind of live with the result. But if you're trying something touchy up the middle, it just gets away from you left, right, and you can get some nasty kicks off those trees.
It seemed like Janne was going to force one over. It was not able to do that. We have Väinö here, hitting one of those trees we talked about. And I misspoke on a previous hole. Väinö actually ended up with a double bogey, which means that he lost one from Jesse and Niklas. Uphill Annie. I mean, it's only a 19-meter putt, but it feels like 30 from down there. Another high putt from Niklas. Oh, top left from Jesse, which had an opportunity to gain a stroke.
Yeah, the door was open just a crack and just couldn't walk through it. And a little bit of frustration starting to show from Jesse.
Yeah, you need to execute on every possibilities that you get on the last round here when you see how well Niklas is playing and have throughout this week. And no doubt that...
I also remember, you know, this isn't the third round of a normal tournament. This is round 4. It is the national championships, as we see Jesse still quite demonstrative there, smacking some weeds with his putters and stuff. So a little bit of it in round 3. Let's see if he can collect himself a little bit.
Well, he got to collect himself quick, because this is hole 8, par 4, 156 meters down this corridor, and you will most likely see one of two things. You will see someone who goes down the gut and someone who throws over everything. We have seen Jesse in the past do a long forehand here, and then we'll see what the rest of the guys will be doing.
Always seems to happen when you're feeling a little bit rough. You're the first one out there. Feels like you're out on an island.
This is looking very nice. Good distance. If it doesn't, yeah, that's a nice tree as well, because if you're digging too far to the right there, you will have a very challenging approach towards the green, and it goes on both the left side and the right side. touchy shot by Niklas, and this can have some huge distance is what I was about to say, but just that one branch.
For people watching that haven't been on this hole, that shot had so much potential. This is a really tricky tee shot.
Yeah, and they are solving it fantastically. Now let's see the turnover master himself at work here. Ooh, it needs to come, and it does not. And he will have quite an obstructed, just a pitch out, it looks like, from down there.
Yeah, you can get in some spots off this fairway that's an absolute curtain of trees.
Yeah, and the myth that Väinö is a backhand player, I think we can just put that dead.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah,
we're done. We're done.
I mean, we were commenting on stuff, commentating, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago, and he refused to throw forehands, and here we see him. Yeah. We need to get him on the podcast and ask him about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little bit surprised to see Niklas just going way far and leaving himself on a tester of a circle's edge putt.
A rare mistake. I wonder if playing with a lead is sort of getting in his head. That's sort of an underrated thing in all sports.
Love that shot from Janne. I have no idea what he is saying, but he is all smiles, just the way we want to see it. Another high putt from Niklas. And
there's an old adage in a lot of sports, when you're playing not to lose instead of playing to win, things can really turn.
Yeah.
Niklas is on such a heater, it's almost better not to switch up the game.
Yep, and now there is only 2 strokes between Jesse and Niklas.
The putt on that last hole is looming large already.
Väinö is having a solid start to the round as well.
From a terrible drive to a birdie, that's I mean, he's a world-class player, and this is the things that we see happen.
There's no doubt about it. Then Niklas will walk away with the only par, as we see Janne left-hand putting that one. Oh, he knows it as well.
Oh. Just mugging.
All right, we're here at the last hole of the front 9. This is hole 9, the heart hole, par 3, 73 meters, and it's quite a long way down there. The grass on the the hazard area, the hazard heart, is of course not cut that low. So if you're ending up there, well, you're stuck there, and if you're going long, well, you'll most likely skip all the way down to the OB. So this is a very touchy shot after quite a few long drives from the guys. Yes, sir. Hitting one of those rocks, skipping far, ending up with a 16-17 meters putt for his comeback.
I tell you what, I don't love the body language from Jesse still. We're used to seeing him approach the tee pad nice and calm, just shoot his shot. You saw him up there looking a little antsy.
And that is the quite opposite you're seeing from Janne. Of course, the showman is just parking that.
Free and loose. Soak it in, Janne.
Enjoy. A little standstill by Väinö. I am personally... Oh, look at that. I'm personally not a big fan of a lot of things going on in the routine, but Väinö makes all the ticks just work beautiful to his advantage.
Yeah, the old hitch in his giddy up, as they said in the wild, wild west.
And Niklas, I can almost hear his pulse because he is not happy with that one. I didn't even need to see that. Janne knows that he is not putting on this hole.
He also knows where all the cameras are.
That's a very good observation, Dean. Oh, good bid from Jesse.
Oh, come on, Jesse. Come on now.
There is no doubt that the pressure is really cooking Jesse at the moment. But then again, it's also cooking this young fella. But he makes that one from 11 meters. He's stoked, as you can see. Well, he's getting back to focus mode, which is a good thing. Don't letting the emotions run his game, and gains 2 strokes on Jesse. Sorry, 1 stroke on Jesse with that one.
Not exactly raptor legs running that one down after a big putt.
Tap out, boys. Just cleaning things up. Yes, sir.
All right, so there's Jesse tapping out on hole 9. So now we have 3 strokes between first and second. Jesse is definitely going to have to make some moves. There's some misputts looming large. Hole 1 all the way back to, and Väinö nipping at his heels, only 2 back, and Yane super happy fun time, sitting on even par. But we are ready for some fireworks coming from him in the final 9 holes of this Finnish championship. Thanks a lot to the Patreons of NBDG. Go check him out, Natural Born Disc Golfer. Thanks a lot for watching. And Jørn, Idar, are you coming back for the back 9?
Oh yes, I am ready, I am able, and I am looking forward to a fun time on the back 9.